I just knew that if I didn't put something together, you guys would sit here and be like, we're going to swing from the hip. Let's see how that
Well,
goes.
firing from the hip.
Firing from the hip. We'll end up
But
talking about what
yes.
our favorite cookie brands are.
So do we have an intro roll here? What happens? What do we do? There it is.
That does get me pumped up every time it comes on.
That's pretty good.
It gets me going. It feels pretty good.
Makes
Thanks,
me feel
guys, for
special.
joining us on another episode.
Hey,
An
dude,
experimental episode, that is.
Chad, last time you did this and you hosted, remember when you dressed like JD?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
that
I
was
put
so
on the
good.
wig, and then I started to fake sing, and you guys were like, please, God, no. But that was my best intro ever. It's always
I can't wait for
also
your
my
poem,
only
dude.
intro.
This is going to be
When
great.
you came in without your picture yet, I thought you were for sure doing that again.
Oh, no. No, I ran upstairs to grab 2 beers, some tequila. I got a Smirnoff Ice because I may need to drink it at some point. But yeah.
Well,
Here we
let's
are
point
with
out
our
the
favorite
obvious in the Zoom room that
We finally got rid of the dead weight.
surprise. JD Carlson's no longer with Plan Design Consultants. He turned the business over to us. We took him out of Retireholics. Yeah,
I didn't know that he left the biz. I thought he just quit Retireholics.
Yeah,
that's new.
He found all that cocaine on the plane this morning. He's like, I'm out.
He is flying high.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean. No, he is flying his son back to college right now. So everybody gets to deal with us 3 awesome, incredibly hairless, beautiful, smart Retireholic people.
Not all of those are true to all of us, but
you have some hair.
There's some overlap there, but let's be honest that the experiment here is just JD not being here. You know, I think the audience knows that every few weeks or every whatever third Thursday, JD tries to throw something unique and cool at everybody. And this week it's just him not being here and saying, I trust you guys. You guys can do a show without me. And I honestly think our jobs are on the line. So we should probably not do what we've done historically, which was fail miserably at this.
I have recently been thinking about this whole jobs on the line thing. If we left, JD's screwed.
No,
we kind of got him right now, guys.
Wow. You know, he is in the air, but he is watching this right now. Okay?
I'm just saying, we're kind of in a good power position at the moment. You guys
the only
are
good thing right now is JD's not
walking
through an airport and going into the bathroom to take a piss live on our show. So
that was tough.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Brandon started to talk about it before we got kicked off. I think we do, Justin. I think we do go old school, and I think you need to come up with a word of the episode.
Oh,
I think we have to leave that up to the chat bar.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
we know I'm going to fumble over my words if I try to think of it. So
Hack already wrote something, which is terrible.
What do you say?
Going back and looking for it, it's not one we're going to use.
Okay.
I don't remember. The chat bar moves pretty quick.
It does. No. I don't think we're gonna. I don't think Pep's a good one.
Rank and file. Yeah,
rank and file.
Hack put rank and file.
That's a running joke. Are we doing acrosin? Because if that's the case, Justin,
no, we're doing word of the episode.
Oh, so just no acrosin. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This will be a little bit easier then.
Yeah. That's a really good one, actually.
How about
Oh.
I like that.
Okay. I don't feel like any of us fall into that often.
But I do it all the time. I just did it. That's what made me think of it.
Oh, you didn't get it from the chat bar. I thought you got it from the chat bar.
No.
Okay. I mean, I'm all right with Kind of boring, but.
Well, I think about the topics we're going to talk about.
I do like Devin's idea of JD's a good one too. That's actually a really good one. Yeah.
All right, we're going and JD. Those are
those two.
All right. Words.
Okay.
There we go.
The episode.
Got our drinks ready. Ready,
I do have my drink ready. The
theme
for tonight. We got it. Let's just throw this out there because it will be confusing as we get into some of the segments what the theme is. But kind of thought it was going to turn out good. And then I started to try to put some topic thoughts together, and I'm like, this is going to suck. But let's see if we can spin it. The theme is dating games, right? I went back in time and I started watching like the match game. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful, Brandon.
That was good, Brandon.
You're always on top of this shit, B. Hey, if you search top 25 dating game shows, like the ones that come up they were not good. And let me just say this, I'll throw it out there right now. Dismissed was not on there. I'm sure we'll run across that at some point. It was not there. But that's what we're doing. We're going dating game shows tonight, and we're going to try to tie it into 401k, and we're going to crush it like bees. But I do like to, I know Mark hates it, but I like to start off every show with headlines. B, can you bring us into headlines? I'm sober enough that I can skip it right now. James Douglas would love it that we're starting the headlines off with sports conversation. Go sports!
The team, go sports!
Hey, we just finished the Paris Olympics. I don't know about you all.
I thought you were going to say the Paralympics.
Heaven. That was freaking awesome. It's becoming more and more exciting to me every 4 years, every 2, I guess, depending on whether you're looking at winter, because my kids are getting into it. And the kids are watching these athletes and understanding what they're going through to prepare for this, and that the country is sitting on their back, and what excitement gets created. Damn, it was awesome. It was freaking awesome. And
this was the first time I ever didn't watch it.
You didn't watch any of it?
I didn't.
Oh,
no, viewership has declined big time, and I was one of them.
I think, Justin, you were playing too much Fortnite to watch the Olympics, perhaps.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah.
It's selling.
I mean, the Olympics was eye-opening in a lot of ways, and I won't say like the best ways. What I realized is that attire in certain sports, show too much. We're just seeing way too much these days. And I'll be honest,
I know what you're talking about.
Your kids, Chad. Yeah. Watching like diving with my 10-year-old daughter. Nah, I don't recommend it. Don't recommend that whatsoever.
What about pole vault? Because that man has become famous.
Yeah.
Hold on. Well, that too.
See, Justin's watching.
I was gonna say.
I've seen the highlights, of course, but hold on. We can't ignore Brian Williams' comment. Anything that has to be judged is not a sport. What are our thoughts?
Like judged or refereed, everything is judged and refereed. Are you trying to say?
No, he's saying like pointing scale, right? Like ref is ref. He's trying to say is it's monitoring the game.
Subjective. He's trying to say that if it's judged, it's subjective. But when you look at, gymnastics cannot be a better example right now because of the controversy with the bronze medal. It is black and white as to what difficulty grade your task is, or your event, or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
And then there is some subjective nature to it in terms of your style and what you do and how you perform it. But I think I very much so disagree with that. Judging is a component of it, which is why, as a baseball purist, I also disagree with having robots give us balls and strikes and out calls, because sometimes you got to deal with umpires, and umpires giving you a low strike zone, and you got to start dealing the ball low. So,
sorry, I'm looking at the breakdancing person over here. It's really good. I mean, I don't want to be cliche and talk about the breakdancing, but like that has unfortunately become kind of I'll say like, mud on the face of the Olympics, which they already canned it for next time. But like, yeah, why was it ever in? Like, how do they evaluate and bring in new?
That looks like JD and Brandon at one of the last conferences we were at. Shit, I said it.
But you are right. That does look like the two of them at the conference.
Brandon, do you have that video?
Yeah, you're right. All right. Well, all I'll say is this: Snoop Dogg the fact that he was everywhere during the Olympics and it's in LA in 4 years,
Yeah,
I feel like he's just gonna end up being like the person who runs the Olympics eventually. So good for him.
We have to acknowledge medal count, which before I do, let me say, this was the first Olympics that I at least saw in the opening ceremonies. All of the athletes on the boats that they had, they're coming across and waving their flags and their colors and the excitement of the opening ceremonies. Crazy to me that one country like the United States had 100 plus
400, buddy, like 480.
over 100 athletes. How a lot of athletes, and then
400 and like
another
80,
boat
I
come
think,
through that has 24 athletes. Like, how in the world are you going to focus solely in on medal count when one country's got 14 athletes and the other one's got 400 athletes? Of course, the group with 400 athletes is likely to get more medals.
Yeah, but you can also.
Chad, who cares? We had
592.
The most, so we rule.
Yeah, we win.
We had the most. 100.
But okay, it's funny you say
medals.
That. Did you guys see Canada make their post that they were number one because they got the most golds and the U.S. wasn't even on there? I was cracking up about that.
They got the most golds. U.S. got the
well,
most.
we tied. Same number of golds.
No.
Yeah.
Canada?
We had. No. U.S. and China had the same number of golds.
Oh, I thought you said with Canada.
Shit, I just said it again.
Yeah,
no.
You did.
What I'm getting at is they published their standings and left the U.S. off. They just said, "Oh, we were the number one,"
which is not a lie.
I was laughing. It's not a lie.
It's gonna tie into tonight's show. Well, Justin,
it is.
Yes.
I'm gonna be
hey, 40.
So
40
drunk.
Votes, 44 silvers, 42 bronze. Kudos, you wonderful United States of America athletes.
Would you rather get silver or bronze?
Let's
You only care about gold.
Rather get any one of them.
No, if you don't win gold, would you rather win silver or bronze?
Well, of course, I'd rather win silver, but I think what you're trying to get at is it doesn't really matter, right?
No, I think honestly, I don't know. I don't think winning silver means you kind of just were so close to that gold, but bronze means like.
Well, not necessarily. If you're swimming against Katie Ledecky, you weren't anywhere near that goal.
That's true.
She was winning by like a 50-meter pool length. It was insanity. Here's my last question, and then we'll move on.
All right.
Favorite sport? Justin, you're kicked out of this group because you didn't watch any. Favorite event that you watched, Mark?
I'm gonna say it anyway.
Unfortunately, it's nothing unique. My favorite was basketball because watching Steph Curry dominate was awesome. Yeah.
Homer. Webby put surfing. I did watch surfing. I loved it.
Surfing is the worst thing to watch ever.
If you're watching the highlights, I did all like abbreviated
they
highlights.
Just sit there and wait.
Hey,
that's surfing.
What about this guy?
He was pretty cool. Again, I didn't watch it, so I can't say. Cool. Yeah. Some of the shooting was really hard to watch. Couldn't follow it.
Women's soccer. Women's soccer and handball were probably my two favorites.
Soccer was good. Yeah.
Women's soccer was phenomenal. I also, there he is. My favorite event in terms of quick watch is the men and women's 4x100 relay race. It happens
that's a lot
so
of fun.
quickly, and you have to hand off the baton, and there's so many different things, and they start at different lengths or at different positions, but then they are allowed to get into lane one after their second or third turn. Like, that was cool. There was so much happening. We'll transition as we continue down headlines. I don't think we've ever talked about this in the past, and I feel like it deserves a shout out. Nevin Adams on LinkedIn puts out a Tuesday touch pointer every Tuesday. And every Tuesday he picks 3 or 4 Tuesday touch pointers. He picks 2 or 3 topics that are relevant that people would want to read about. He gives a minute and a half of commentary, and then he puts the links in the comments. If you all are not connected with Nevin, or if you're not paying attention to his Tuesday touch points, you need to, because there's good shit in there. Here's what I pulled from this week, Tuesday. Anybody following the number of podcasts Nevin Adams and Fred Reish have together now?
Number of, or how many episodes?
How many different podcasts. I think the most recent one is Retirement Minds. It showed season 1, episode 1 of this. What's happening there? Is the branding going bad, so they just keep throwing out a new name or a new topic or something? But it's a new podcast again. They had Charlie Nelson on, the OG of Voya and Great West's rises to the top. I'm
going to say this real quick, Chad. You say a lot, and I want to give you acrocents for that because of our word. But anyways, going.
That was a but if I get I'm in.
All right. So
same thing.
I'm there.
So I think the podcasting, to your point, Chad, is I think we've seen through many different like ventures, people in business, people in sports, people in politics, whatever, who try to start podcasts. And it's not easy and it's hard to maintain, and things happen. And then maybe instead of like trying to redo it, it's almost like starting something new is a little bit easier, and maybe it sticks, right? Maybe a rebrand of something similar you just need something to catch.
Okay.
Once something catches, yeah.
They are. I would think each of the iterations they've done are catching, and I don't feel like anything has been very different. I feel like they like maybe like shows on cable, they run 3 seasons and then like, yeah, even though people still love it, we got to go out on a high note. So let's shut down that show and run a new pilot. That's almost what I feel it's like, because I love all the podcasts and we'll tune into them usually as I'm, laying around in bed at night or early in the morning while I'm hammering away at emails. It's all valuable. I'm not sure why they transition. Anyways, if you're not part of Tuesday Touch Pointers, you need to be. Tune into what Nevin's pushing out there. It's good shit. Justin, it's your turn, sir. You sent us 2 this week headlines that you were excited about. So
one of them had the name of somebody in our chat bar in it, which is always awesome to see.
It did?
Yeah.
It's
new to me.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
This is awkward. Okay. Go on.
I'm gonna be honest. I just didn't read them. But
you just sent them over and didn't read them.
When you text me that thing today, like, hey, can you do some research? I was like, I had every best intention to do it, but I just went from call to call to call and had to get shit out. And I was like, oh man, I'm just gonna.
Here we go. Yeah, come on. Can you
fire from the hip?
The articles, please?
Oh gosh, here we go.
The first one I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go out of order here, pal. Is plan sponsored? You send it to B?
Yeah, but I sent it 90 seconds before the show started.
Oh, there you go. So it's not going to come. How does Secure 2.0's mid-year termination of simple IRAs work?
This is Mike Webb. Mike Webby's name is authored on there. Yeah. So.
Oh, Webby wrote it.
Yeah.
Our OG.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Sorry,
hey,
it wasn't. It was fine print. But
Webby, you should know that I wrote the one that was published in Plan Consultant magazine on mid-year conversions of simples.
Guys, we are really
God, what a
douche.
We are stretching.
Yeah.
Justin just freeze.
He did freeze.
Anyways, so getting into this. Oh, I froze?
No, you're back. Go.
Okay, cool. So how does Secure 2.0 mid-year termination of simple IRAs work? When this first came out, I thought it was absolutely amazing. I was like, finally. It made no sense. In prior years, why we had to wait that we did. I mean, I guess it kind of did make sense, but the way they went about allowing for the change seemed awesome. And it seems as the further we get into this first year of being able to do so, the less likely I'm really kind of stoked and want to recommend people doing it for quite a multitude of reasons. Now, if you do it in the beginning of the year, as we learned, you don't get to max out in the 401k, 402g limits, right? You have to take a proration of how much time is left in the year for the 401k to operate, and also look at how much time was in the beginning of the year and a proration of the simple IRA contribution limits. Not a terrible thing.
Buttons.
Sorry, you don't have any buttons? Not a terrible
I hit
thing.
Him because
he wants acros.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I keep doing it? Anyways. Yep, I did it. So it wasn't terrible transitioning in the beginning of the year, but as we've grown close to this part of the year, it is becoming less of something we want to recommend because it's not really worth it in my mind. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
It all depends and stems, again, taking this back a couple of steps. What we're getting at is this year you can terminate a simple IRA and put into place a 401k. And one of the cool things that we learned through the legislation initially was that the 2-year requirement of the dollars being in the simple could move over to the 401k.
Yep.
But what we ran into was the fact that in this, Webby was on top of it. This is like a tax exemption. That doesn't necessarily mean that the record keepers have to play ball. So what we learned in helping some clients go through these transitions was there was a brick wall put up by them saying like, no, they're exempt from it, but that doesn't mean we have to accept those assets. And so that's where, to Justin's point, we've begin kind of going through this cycle of going, you really have to think about all the different options for clients and all the different rules and changes. But what I'm seeing, Justin, to take your question and excellent, is if somebody wants profit sharing, then it likely is going to be a viable option to make a transition. But if they're really just trying to go from a simple IRA to a safe harbor match, where they're only going to be able to put in a minute amount more than they would be, then maybe it's not worth all of that.
Let's clarify, because we've chatted about this as a consulting team, the timing of that. When's the threshold? If all you're trying to do is get a raised deferral rate, when's the threshold where that stops really making sense? It's kind of in that June range. Because once you get beyond June, the proration has your limit fairly close to what you can get in the simple anyways. And it might not be worth the mid-year migration and taking on some expense for running the K plan. To Mark's point, if you're going to fund profit sharing as a business, it likely makes great sense and great tax sense to convert over at that point. Now, what I will say, and I got to give credit where credit is due, and I thought we talked about this, but perhaps we didn't on the show. It was Hancock that put up the, we will not accept inside a 2-year simple IRA over to 401k rollovers. And I'm like, that's bullshit. The legislation says you can do it. Clients want to do it. You should do it. And so I got on the horn with their lead of distribution and rollovers. And he's like, here's why, Chad. And he broke down the fact that once you roll over inside 2 years, it's a restricted rollover. And now it will always carry that name tag. It's a restrictive rollover, and restricted rollovers will have certain restrictions when it comes to distribution rules. And so they've looked at it and said, it's actually not in the best interest of the participant to do this. Like, we don't believe anybody should roll over their money inside 2 years. So we're just not allowing, or flat out not allowing it. And I fought him. I said, you're wrong. And who did I go to? I went to the one and only Nevin Adams, and I went to ARA. And I said, this is what they're telling me. I don't think it's right. Here's the legislation. Here's what I'm reading in the bill. Tell me I'm wrong. And they came back and said, Chad, you're wrong. Like, they're right. Inside the 2 years.
And the crowd goes wild.
Yeah. So this again, much like different portions of Secure 2.0, really wonderful thing when written on paper, somewhat difficult when it comes to application. So I have taken it, just guys, and I know that two of you know this, but I'll say that the rest of the Retireholics world, at this point, I've gone in and said, I'm not advising an inside a 2-year rollover, even if the record keeper will allow it. I'm leaving it out. It's not something we're pushing. It's not something we're recommending. We are doing mid-year. I am writing mid-year transfers, a number of them, because especially this time of year, they're funding profit sharing. It's super tax efficient. But otherwise, I'm staying away from it. So kudos, Webby.
What's the next one, Justin?
Reading up on it right now.
Perfect.
The boogeyman is back. Yet again. Tia Morningstar sued over retirement advice tool. Schlichter Bogard led complaint alleges that providers pushed participants into retirement advice that led Tia to annuity investments. And now they're getting sued for it.
You look
what do
really
you have to tell us, Chad?
I wish that was on your LinkedIn profile.
That's gonna be my new LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, dude,
Did
I don't
he
know.
ever leave? Can I ask?
Reading through this, it just gave me this thought of like this concept of, I guess, companies trying to sell their own shit is so normal. And in our world, I know that there's a lot of ways it can be seen as negative, the whole idea of proprietary and all these different things. But some of the way the article is written about, like, and I know they're not positioning it like themselves, but saying, oh, they're trying to make more money effectively. Those are my words,
Yeah.
Mhm.
What the heck's wrong with that, right? I mean, if there's a process and they're going to defend themselves, there's a process and they're saying, hey, a participant has access to our programs and we offer investment vehicles within our programs. Yeah, there's costs involved there and it's an option. Great. But again, I know I'm being very general here, but the more and more I read through it, I just kept getting this like weird thought of like, are we really stooping to that point of just always suing when it's like, oh, a company had their own investments and they made more money? That's not okay.
I
We
don't
are a
think
very
that
litigious society, Mark.
Ooh, that's
we
a
have
big
become.
word for you.
I don't think the issue is so much selling your own widgets as much as it is qualifying whether or not your own widgets are right for that client. And let's take it to real world format, right? When I roll into McDonald's and I want to order a burger, they don't come to me and say, "Hey, here's our burger. Here's In-N-Outs. It's super good as well. You should probably consider In-N-Outs." McDonald's is there for me to purchase a McDonald's burger, and I went into McDonald's to purchase a McDonald's burger. So I don't necessarily mind this thought of proprietary. What I do mind is if I go in there to order chicken nuggets and they say, "Too bad you get a burger." If I'm in there to invest in my 401k and they're pushing annuities at me, then I might have an issue with that. And so when I look at this, I see different areas of exposure. What I would like to do is flip it off the annuity side, though, and ask the two of you a little bit around this thought of using proprietary tools and the methodology that they have built to then recommend their own products. And here, let me phrase that a little differently. All providers have these financial wellness tools now. And those financial wellness tools are typically created by the provider. And often I think that they may be tiered in a way that recommends products that the providers are selling versus really trying to dive into what might be right for that participant. And so when I see that this lawsuit was an advice tool, it's technology, right, that led to this, I feel like we're going to see more of this in the future where people are questioning, where litigation is questioning the prudence of the tool that was created that recommended the option. Because it's not a person now, right? You can't say that the person didn't do their due diligence. It's a process, it's a procedure. And are we going to start seeing more lawsuits around the process of these advice tools?
I don't necessarily think that's fair, though. I think this is kind of what Greg was getting at too, and it was in my head when we were talking about the difference between In-N-Out and McDonald's and whatnot. Like, how long are we going to do this and file lawsuits for things and not blame the consumer for not educating themselves on something
Forever.
that they should be, right?
Remember the person that burned their face on hot coffee from McDonald's?
I get that, but that doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's right by any means, or that they should, the company should take on the liability. Hey, T and Morningstar are trying to make money. We are in a capitalist society. I saw someone say that too. I think it might have been Greg. I think it's okay to try to make more money. Yeah, you can help offset fees. And I understand we need to be cautious of that as an industry because I think, collectively over the years have probably gotten paid a lot more than we should have, as an industry and made a lot more money than we should have on people's retirement. But at some point we got to get to, hey, the consumer needs to educate themselves too. We can't just be spoon feeding them everything. And then all of a sudden we try to give them something that's going to be useful for them potentially. It's not going to be a one size fits all by any means. And even though we try to do that, we're getting sued for it now.
I don't know if this has any correlation, so you guys can shut me up if it doesn't. But I got this thought in my head a second ago of like walking into the grocery store and I'm there for milk, right? And then I come to the front and I'm getting ready to pay for my milk, and I see a candy bar advertised right in front of me. I want to buy that candy bar now. That sounds great. The Snickers sounds great. And I buy that candy bar. I almost feel like if we were to take the rules and the litigation in our space and move it over to that example, grocery stores would be being sued because they put a candy bar in my eyesight as I'm paying, where I have to go and I have to be every time. They're going to be sued because they put another product that I may want or may not want, or maybe I'm lactose intolerant and well, buying milk, it's a bad example. But I think you get my point of like, product placement in our industry is bad. It's not prudent. You shouldn't try to sell these to people because the consumer's not smart enough to choose if they need it. But yet in every other walk of life, it's there.
Well, and Chad, going back to your point there, and I think you have a very valid point of, is it no longer, going to be looked at from the standpoint of maybe it's a person-to-person contact where somebody is using, did I say something? Okay. That somebody is using sales techniques or being shady to get somebody to purchase something because they benefit from it. But is it going to be, I don't know, like you're saying, a process, an algorithm, technology where somebody or some company has coded something where it's nearly impossible for that person to do anything other than where they want to funnel these dollars or where they want to funnel these parts. And I think that's something that's going to have to be closely monitored. It probably is, but yes, I agree with you there. I also don't like the fact that in that article they talked about like sales incentives where they're telling people hit quotas and bonuses for getting, hitting their numbers in that particular product. They work for the company. They should believe in the product. So they're going to be incentivized to sell it. Yes, but also they should want to, or else why are you working there?
Why are you employed there?
Yeah.
That will transition, but that is always a funny one to me, Mark. And I know that you two have been in the business long enough to see it too, where you have a wholesaler in your office and they're repping a company and they're talking about how great their product is. And then the next week they've left that record keeper and now they're at a new one and they're in and they're like, this is the best product out there. I know I told you last week that other one was fantastic, but we're here.
That's always the worst when a good person that you like and just is a solid human being leaves for whatever reason, joins a team that is just not ideal. You're like, oh gosh, we didn't do that.
Yeah. And that tees us up perfectly for our first dating game show, guys.
No, it does it.
Yeah, it does. We're going
I don't see how it does, but
welcome to Love Connection, where old-fashioned romance meets modern-day technology. Where you hear all the intimate details of a first date.
You get me now.
Here's your host, Chuck Woolley.
Oh, Chuck. Oh, good old Chuck. I get you. You're not ready to go to the blind date because you first want us to bring us in as your guests of the dating game show and get the audience entangled in guessing who is who.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That was really not what I was wishing for. But
why don't you introduce us, Justin?
Wait, I'm confused now. I thought we were playing like I'm gonna name off 3 different things that each one of us that represents each one of us, and the audience gets a guess.
The audience is going to guess. Yeah.
All right.
It's the first blind dating game show where you're going to try to have the audience guess which retireholic you are describing based upon certain hints.
Greg, I don't know if the OF means oh fuck or OnlyFans. What are we talking about here? Oh, I see the wheel of. Okay. Well, I guess we can pause that. Do we have a wheel this show or no? Yes, we do.
Brandon never misses.
I was not prepared for this.
I hope it lands on James Douglas.
Singing that.
There you go. Mark.
Damn it.
Yes, I do keep Smirnoff Ice on my desk.
Doesn't everybody?
Devin, I'm so glad you put that in the chat. Hello, everyone, from the friendly skies of first class. I'm currently directly over the flyover states. Hi, Chad, and being served a wonderful cheesecake. Okay, time to get into the game. All right, everybody. I think hopefully you understood that. It's kind of like two truths and a lie, but I'm just going to name off, one trait that represents each of us, and you guys are going to try and guess who's who. So the first round, will be 3 in total. Used to drive his car in reverse to take miles off the odometer. One of us once struck out 12 times at a 4th of July softball tournament. And the other one of us once devastated an entire family by posting that their daughter was pregnant on social media when she actually wasn't. So number one.
Right.
Who used to drive his car in reverse to take miles off the odometer? Very smart person.
I think everybody knows who that is. If it's a very smart person, it can't be you two guys.
Oh, Webby says Mark, Justin, Chad. You are wrong on all 3 of those, pal. So far, we only have one winner, and that is Greg. That was Chad. Bravo.
That
makes
me so mad because everybody thinks I'm actually stupid.
My 1982 Honda Accord, we found out that if you drive it in reverse,
we didn't know that. That was amazing. Just driving around your neighborhood. We didn't take too many miles off that thing, but
we did prop it up on a jack once and drove it in reverse for a while.
That's what we did. Yep. That
I would have thought cruise control can set in reverse, but it can.
You say that was an 81 Honda?
82 Honda Accord.
Oh, never mind. Okay. All right. So the next 2 to guess. Between me and Mark, who struck out 12 times at a 4th of July softball tournament, and who once posted that their friend's daughter was pregnant on social media when she actually wasn't?
I know
struck out 12 times. Is that me or Mark?
Right. Oh, look at GG is feeling confident.
It was Mark. Fuck you all that are saying it was me. I am a fat athletic individual. All right.
I do have to defend myself. It wasn't 12 times.
It was 12 times, pal.
No.
I can call Neil right now. I'll call Neil.
Call him. It was not 12 times.
It is what I say it is. We played in 4 games. You struck out 3 times every time.
No, I didn't. No,
anyways, here we go. Moving on.
How about that?
Take me outside.
Yeah. And then yes, I was
right. Justin,
I was part of a duo when we were heavily intoxicated at my parents' house having a party one night many years ago that participated in posting that Chad's wife was pregnant on her social media account when she actually wasn't.
Time out. This was not my wife at this point in time either.
Oh, that's
right. It was my fiance, and he posted, and her whole family lives in the state of Missouri. So when we woke up at like roughly 11 o'clock, because we stayed up late drinking, there was a lot of text messages and voicemails stating, WTF, you didn't call us, you didn't tell us, you guys are pregnant, this is not good. Yeah, thanks, Justin. We really appreciated that.
Hey, don't forget about the announcement at the church.
Oh, yeah, that's right. At the church of my wife's town, they announced in the front of everybody that Brooke Gassinu was pregnant, expecting her first child. Church. Yeah. And that is how her grandparents found out.
I love me a good prank. Anyways, moving on. Not a good prank. All right, round 2.
Round 2. This one's going to be fun for me because this is all me against you guys and the chat bar. Blind date status. I'm going to give you some hints.
Wait, what?
Justin has another round.
I got them all, pal.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to do multiple.
Yeah, okay, why not? Let's keep going.
Go ahead.
All right.
Go.
In the spirit of the dating game theme, one of us was once on a dating show, and when asked if they had ever had sex, the response was, I don't have sex, I just make love. True story. The other one of us is the kindest soul on the Retireholics, and the third of us is the most caring asshole in the world. Who's who?
That's tough. I actually don't know 2 and 3 then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you just ruined it for everybody.
Why? I know the dating game.
Webby thinks Yeah.
Again,
Mm-hmm.
everybody has me mistaken. I'm not
one of three of
That's
those
because
is right.
you're like a hidden human
Web.
being, Mark.
If you met me in person,
All right,
maybe
Devin
you
wants the
would
questions
understand.
again. So question number one for one of us was once on a dating show and when asked if he ever had sex, his response was, I don't have sex, I just make love on live TV. He said that. The other one is the kindest soul of the Retireholics, and the other one's the most caring asshole in the world.
Okay. We're going to give this one in because everybody knows I was on an MTV dating game show and I won that show because I'm a competitor and I don't want to. And while
You
I
did
said
win
the
it.
I only make love, I did also strip on top of the dinner table.
You're not doing yourself any favors there, pal.
Didn't need to. It was an awesome moment. Thanks, B. It was an awesome. I'm proud of that moment. I'm proud.
Yeah,
being a
don't let
stripper on
any of
national
us ever
television.
see it.
No,
I've seen
because
it.
it's only on VHS. That's how old I am now. All right, but now
And then the kindest soul on the
2 and
Retireholics
3.
is definitely Mark, and the kindest asshole in the world is definitely.
Oh,
Mark,
man,
I
so
thought-
sweet.
I thought you were pegging me for number 2.
I would never peg you, pal. It's attractive as you are.
Wow.
Justin, since I don't know how many of these you have, are you done with your?
I'll be done. I'll be
One
done.
more?
We got to move
One
on.
more?
Sake of time.
It's
One more.
7-11. It's time for an icy.
Another
Go
one?
ahead,
Okay.
Justin.
No,
Mark
moving on.
wants one
Moving
more.
on.
Go ahead.
You want one more? All right.
Yeah.
Mark wants one more.
So his first love and his last love share the same name. Most used phrase is new phone, who dis? And the other one apparently hit more home runs out of anyone on the Retireholics growing up in baseball. We know it probably wasn't Mark.
Because he struck out 12 times in slugger softballs.
Which is not, that is fallacies, dude. It's just absolute erroneous. Erroneous. Okay.
Okay, so Chad, Mark, Justin, Justin, Mark, Chad. Chad could hit, says Greg. Last one was definitely Justin. Webby said, which one helped him become a good golfer? Well, I'm not a good golfer, so that didn't work.
No. And the chats are happening too quick.
They are.
Which helped him become a good golfer. Greg is saying that I'm a good golfer. GG. That's the sweetest thing you've ever said to me.
I'm sure that's probably not true, but anyways, he tries. Good efforts. All right, so Chad's first love and last love share the same name of Brooke. Mark always responds to text messages, new phone, who dis? And Chad gave me that one about me hitting home runs. I remember that very fondly.
You did. You hit a lot of home runs. Anyway,
so there's a little bit more about the Retireholics. Oh shit. Love it. All right, moving on after this.
Yes. I was gonna say, I don't carry 2 of them right now.
This is rigged.
This is too good.
All right, here we go. I'm playing blind date with you guys and the chat bar. I'm giving stats of record keepers.
Okay.
Stats. And you have to tell me which record keeper you think it is.
All right.
I'm going to first start this episode off by saying that the first 7 contestants list their number 1 attribute as contestant number 1 provider in the defined contribution space. Contestant number 2, number 1 provider in the defined contribution space. Contestant number 3, number 1 provider.
I think we get it. I think we've got it now.
Number 4, number 1 provider. Number 5,
Wait, we got
number
7?
1 provider.
By what metrics are we measuring this, Chad?
Number 6, number 1 provider. 7. Oh my gosh. Number 1 provider in the defined contribution space. All 7 of you. The point of this is to tell you guys that statistics can be tiered and they can be swayed. All 7 of these contestants are the number 1 provider. One might be in MEP, one might be in small and mid-sized plans, one might be in plans under 5 million, one might be in total assets.
Oh, okay.
Provider plan count, provider by single employer plans, provider in PEP assets, and provider in 457 plans. That is B and F, by the way.
Hey,
Yes,
Chad,
GG. That was
did
my
say there
point
was
of
a
this.
spreadsheet attached here. There's no spreadsheet.
Oh, I'm not giving you guys the answers. I don't give you guys the answers. That's why I'm quizzing.
That was a note for yourself. You wrote a note for your.
I did. I wrote a note for myself. So here's the point initially as I launch into this is you have to actually read the little thumbnails. Every single statistic I am going to give you all is either from Plan Sponsor Magazine and their
is this open book?
rankings,
can I go online?
Yeah.
Or it is from proposals. Every statistic here, proposals or Plan Sponsor Magazine. And I have to give credit where credit is due. Devin, thank you so much for putting this together when I was busy.
Wow.
You are a solid internal external.
So here you go. Contestant number 1 currently has 20, well, phrase that, because in their proposal, this statistic is from 2021. In their 2024 proposal, this statistic is from 2020. Currently has 29,000 plans, 4.1 million participants, and $263 billion in assets under management. They're the number 1 provider in multiple employer plan assets. They're a top 10 record-keeping provider in the U.S., again, in their proposal based upon 2021 plan sponsor survey. And lastly, they are, by plan sponsor satisfaction and account managers, their account managers have a 97% satisfaction rate. Read the subtitle. It is in mega market only. Tell me who you think.
What is okay, Boomer?
29,000 plans, $263 billion, 4.1 million participants.
Oh, man.
The plan count has got to give you a little direction there, guys. Any guesses?
Well, my initial thought was going to be ADP.
Mark?
Sorry, I lost my volume here. Can you hear me?
With the MEP.
Gotcha.
No, that didn't make sense. Never mind.
The MEP is the big one.
Yeah,
That's true.
out of
Transamerica.
Marcus.
Yeah, I should have thought about
done.
the fucking MEP.
It was the 29,000.
I didn't think they had 29,000 plans.
By the way, shame on me, guys. So many of these stats are inside our proposal documents. The stats were from 2021 and a 2024 proposal. That was discouraging to me.
Okay.
They are not the only ones that have done that. So be prepared as I go through.
Look at Justin. Justin's going into.
Because I'm just like.
Just guess. Just guess.
I
just want the point of this is to you to guess who the blind date is. Who's behind the curtain, Mac? Just let it happen.
Yeah, this is
all right.
hard.
Here you go. Contestant number 2, number 1 provider of small and mid-sized plans. Statement on the proposal: small and mid-sized plans. 82,000 plans. $1.4 trillion.
John Hancock.
Assets. 18 million participants.
John Hancock.
Justin?
He's reading something right now.
No, I'm not. I'm taking in all the stats.
I'll give you more since Mark jumped in quickly. Number 1 participant growth. Number 1 participant growth year over year. 2022 Plan Sponsor 55 awards in Plan Sponsor Magazine's Record Keeper survey.
I gotta go with Mark.
Industry professionals.
I'm going with Mark. I'm sorry to say it. I'm going Hancock too.
Chat bar, nobody has said it yet. And I'm saying that because GG said it for the first question. That is Empower, boys. 82,000 plans.
Small? What do we count as small?
82,000 plans. Yeah. They quote themselves as the provider of small and mid-sized plans. Number 1 provider of small and mid-sized plans.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back to our number 1 provider. Number 1 provider by total assets, $3.4 trillion in DC assets, 31 million participants, 35,000 plans. 35,000 plans. Ranked number 1 in customer service. By someone.
Fidelity.
Thanks, Webb.
Good job. That is Fidelity. It was the 3.4 trillion.
Oh, first off,
assets,
I was not looking at the chat bar. I said that on my own free will.
Came right up there.
Fidelity, good job. Fidelity, you hit it.
Okay.
We're gonna go to one of the big dogs here. They're number one. Imagine that.
What?
By plan count. Number one by plan count, 160,000 plans. 100 billion in assets under management, 4 million participants.
That's what I was thinking, Webby. Has it been said before?
No. Well,
in round one.
I mean, people have guessed it in the chat bar.
Have I guessed it?
I don't think so.
Shit.
That's
what I was thinking,
I'm not
Greg.
paying enough.
I said 80. Yeah, I was going with ADP.
Mark,
can you repeat real fast? Go through real fast.
160,000 plans, 4 million participants, 100 billion in assets under management.
I'm gonna go opposite of that. I'm gonna say paychecks.
Ooh.
I do not have paychecks in this category or in this spreadsheet.
Okay.
It is ADP. Kudos, Justin. By the way, that blew my damn mind. You guys remember when we did on the wall, like season 1 of
episode 2,
and we released
maybe 3
these different stat categories? ADP had, and they were above everybody else, had 60,000 plans.
Yeah,
160,000 is what they're ranked at. Right.
Episode 3. There you go, man.
All right, let's keep going. 112,000 plans, 5 million participants, $288 billion. In AUM. Just think about plan count. It's got to lead you somewhere. 112,000 plans.
I don't know if Voya's there, Webb. That's a good guess, though.
I'm gonna go back to.
It's a lot. It's a lot of startup.
I'm gonna go back to John Hancock.
Justin, you have a guess?
I'm thinking of startups right now because that helps get that plan count up. I'm gonna say American funds. That's a freaking shoot. Never mind. Yeah, but I'm gonna go with it. Who cares?
You guys you're both off. And when I say it, you're gonna go, oh, that makes sense. It's a census.
Oh my God. Yep.
I knew you both would say that the moment you thought about it. We'll go two more guesses, and then we'll talk real quickly about a couple of these folks. Your next one, which was a big surprise to me, 58,000 plans. 58,000. That's a lot. 11.5 million participants. A census has 5 million, so 11.5 million. 500 billion in AUM or AUA or whatever they want to quote. So 500 billion versus the census is 288. 11 million participants versus the 5 million at a census, but only 58,000 plans in comparison to the 112,000.
I'm gonna go Hancock. Had to get there before you did, Mark.
Mark looks like he's frozen. Webby, I think for first time in a while, Webby, you are wrong.
Damn it, really?
Dude, you guys froze on me. I thought
you froze on us.
Muted?
Okay, I'm answering because we're gonna move.
I didn't hear anything.
Right.
I didn't hear.
I know.
You froze on me.
It's all right. We're moving on.
We're answering though. That there's principle. That was surprising to me. 58,000 plans. That was surprising to me. Let me give you two more quick ones. You guys know
it was two more
already.
1 more ago.
John Hancock has 56,000 plans. Number
I'm
one
ready for the
provider
wheel
by
again.
plan count with plans under 5 million. I think that one would have given it away to the two of you.
Yeah.
Number one provider by plans under 5 million. The other one that I said, number one provider by 457 plans was Nationwide.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My point of doing this, it goes back to actually something that JD had me do forever ago. Is statistics can be swayed, guys.
No.
Statistics can be swayed. When you look at these proposals, and I just
those are totally made up statistics
that stated they're the number one provider. The number one provider, and then in small writing in 457, number one provider.
Kind of like when you say we're having a great year, and me and Mark are just pulling everything, and you're just, not
Justin,
performing.
this might be the first year where you have a chance to potentially beat me. Go after it, Mac. Go after it. No, let me be serious for a second, though, folks. Like, take one moment and look as you quote product size, provider services, and what I had hoped to do, but we're just talking too much, was to talk a little bit about each of these and where they fit. These statistics are swayed, and you need to make sure that we understand if you're recommending a 401k and it's stated that they're the number one provider, but then down below it says in 457 assets or 403b assets, that you're cognizant of that. You can't overlook the way these statistics get swayed. I'm going to pick the online dating algorithm. We're going to do that one, and then we're done. I'm going to skip out on the Love is Blind confession.
Yes. I'm just going to start drinking because Brandon's algorithm puts it right on us.
Thanks for letting me know that we're doing such a great job.
Oh my God.
When I said us, hey, this proves the fact that Brandon can manipulate that shit. I don't have a Smirnoff, so I'm just going with the rest of my summer ale.
I envisioned such a quick show with lots of good shit in it. And what I've learned is that without JD's coordination, we like to talk.
It just doesn't work. We're not versed at this.
Just like to talk.
Hey, I told you guys when the text came out, this is going to be a record-breaking show, and it is not right now.
And
it needed to be over after 10 minutes.
Here's what we're going. We're playing the online dating algorithm. We're going to move quickly. I'm going to give you guys some statistics. You're going to quickly fire off what type of plan fits for this type of client. Give me one sentence as to why. Mark is frozen, so Justin, it's all on you. You have a restaurant in the state of California.
Cal Savers, go. Move on.
With 150 employees, some
Cal Savers, move on. Done.
Some part-timers.
Dude, next, let's go. Come on, I already said Cal Savers. We're moving on.
Why?
I'm not taking that one because it's a pain in the ass type of a client. They're never going to keep in touch with it, do the census collection at the end of the year. They're not going to want to do any of that shit. They're not going to have great participants, high turnover. The best thing they can do is just align with Cal Savers and go, that's not a lot.
But Cal Savers could lead to a bunch of back and forth with these part-timers becoming eligible right away and having to create accounts for them.
It's a restaurant we're talking about. Majority younger individuals who are going to be moving on from employment and may or may not have assets that need to move over. No advisor is going to properly want to service that.
Okay. I positioned that for Cal Savers, but I will argue and say that we have others where we look at a profit sharing only plan with a 2-year eligibility. You target the ownership and you set up something sweet for it. But that was set up for Cal Savers. Yes, you're right. Here you go, Mark. Yep. Now you'll hear this one. A dentist shop with 3 doctors and 11 staff members. All staff members were recent hires. I'm teeing up the tricky part.
Cash balance plan.
Doctor's goal is to fund $60K a year.
Profit sharing. All right, moving on.
Okay, so profit sharing, Justin, they've got to file 5500s. They've got to submit census data. They've got to do significant work there.
You're going SEP, huh?
I'm going SEP. That was set up for a SEP.
Hey, because I'm a good salesperson, I don't think of shit we can't do. I want it in my funnel.
You're going to get sued by the boogeyman. Proprietary
painting company. Painting company. I'm a painting company. I've got 40
employees. Shut up and sign the fucking form.
40 low wage earning folks. 2 owners making really good money and looking to shelter as much as possible. So a painting company with 40 staff members, low wage earners, high turnover, 2 owners making good money.
Well, are we leveraging carve-outs or not?
Sure, if that's where you want to go.
Well, then I might be considering a cash balance plan. Otherwise, I don't know the ages, so I don't know right now. You did not have enough foresight.
I did not give you ages and whether or not that will work out well. Mark, what do you think?
I don't know. You were pretty general there, saying they want to shelter as much as possible or as reasonable as you wrote down. My brain just went safe harbor match with a 1-year wait.
That was positioned for cash balance. The key kind of indicator there was the low wage of the employees and the 2
I don't know.
owners
That
wanted to
description was
shelter as
pretty
much as
bad.
possible.
Just gonna say.
Hey, I'm trying to move quickly through these, Mark. My
Yeah.
goodness, it's already 7:30 here. Okay. Last one. I'll tee this one up a bit. You have an owner only, single member, consultant, no employees. Their objective right now is significant tax savings, but they would like flexibility moving forward to pull it back.
Great. No, not with that. So many different options. I mean, I'm saying, you want to maximize. Yeah, you got to
maximize.
You got to go profit sharing. You got to go profit sharing at that point if you don't want to commit to the
solo okay.
With profit sharing.
So both somewhat correct. That is the tee up. It is a solo K with profit sharing is the objective. When you look at an owner only plan, typically you are looking at a SEP or you're looking at a solo K. If they're an S corp, which I failed to mention, you're looking at a solo K because you want high
just leaving out minor details.
There.
No big deal.
Trying to move quickly, Mark.
SEP is a bad idea unless you're taking more than 220,000 in net rev.
GG hit it. Solo K is it. Justin's saying 220,000 because that allows you to maximize your profit sharing.
It doesn't allow you to actually 270,000 allows you to maximize, like just south of that.
But I know nobody's paying attention
there's a happy
to the
medium.
nuggets the two of you are providing, but that is a big one there for these solo K type setups. I would have also accepted owner only DB, where we're looking at maximizing the tax deductibility with minimal liability.
Is this going to be on the midterm?
Yeah, you did say flexibility and be able to pull it back. Now I know there's flexibility when it's an owner only DB plan. You can make changes, but I didn't veer that way because of those specific details you laid out.
Webby, I will answer. No, this is not the 1960s, but a defined benefit plan for an owner only with no employees allows us to use
an S corp.
A few different metrics.
We can dial up and down the W-2
levers that we can pull to make it more attractive than a cash balance, because I know that's where you were going.
You should have consulted with Webby first, because we did not have all the facts to properly answer your question.
You guys are a tough audience sometimes, you know. You do. Hey, Mark, before we exit tonight, I have to ask, how painful was this for you that we did 22 minutes of headlines and then we just fucked around on topics for the remaining 40 minutes and we went over the 35-minute objective that we had in place?
No, this wasn't painful at all. This was fantastic. That hour felt like 30 minutes, which is awesome, because I think when I envision our show, let me get on the soapbox, is that it's supposed to be more informal. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be interactive. It's supposed to be us bantering, doing all that. I will say this. JD really, he runs a tight ship, you know, people think he's this free-flowing guy because he doesn't wear underwear, sleeps naked, does all that. But in reality, I mean, he's a suit and tie. But behind the scenes, he's as corporate as it gets. I mean, look at his brother. I mean, did you see him? This guy owns the company. Straight-laced guy, shaves, everything. So when you look at our show on a weekly basis or semi-weekly, whatever,
I'm not sure of too many dudes who shave their pits, Tony.
I have to say, what JD is phenomenal at.
I've been drinking a lot of vodka
we both have to drink
free
for
time.
that, Mark. Which I realize in retrospect, and Mark, you have to drink for your James Douglas comment as well.
Yep.
He understands how many topics to throw into a show to make it fit. I was really excited for Love is Blind Confessions, and I was really excited for Lamer Game. And we don't even get a touch.
No, hey, there is no link to the show now because we are, as JD says, the show ends when it ends. We are ending this on Lamer game. That was my one biggest request, and I completely forgot about it.
A couple of things. One is JD has asked me to do that game probably 4 times in the past.
Keep telling him no.
Well, no, and every time we run out of time. Okay. I've
We're not
drank
running out of time.
way
Hey.
more on this show than I have.
You know what we're gonna do?
Like,
We're gonna speed through this. Okay, yes, we're gonna hit this right now. There's one more thing coming afterwards. Let's go.
Do it, Mark.
No,
bring us
I-
out with Lamer game.
I think we are doing Trap Art Champion? No?
Yes, we are. That was gonna
but
be
we
the one
can just
thing
announce
afterwards.
that because
Yes.
I've got control and I'll pick it.
Okay. All right. This has been a while, boys. It's been a long time coming.
I've missed you.
I don't have a lot of good ideas, but there's been a few things brewing in my head lately. I'll just start off real simple. Lamer game. Brushing your teeth while taking a shower. Let's ease into
100% game.
Yeah.
Like, couldn't be more game in that one. In fact, I leave my toothbrush in the shower often.
Yeah, me too.
It's very efficient. I've never done it. I have my process. You know, you wake up, you get your things going.
So I was normally a morning shower guy, right? But now I'm a night shower guy, and I brush my teeth before I go to bed. Usually I go take a shower and I'm in bed. And I brushing your teeth in the shower. I feel like I brush longer. I think my dentist is happier.
Better.
I might take this to the
floss
next
in the
level.
shower.
Yeah.
So I have a razor in my shower. I have a razor in my drawer in the vanity. I have it in my a travel bag. I think I might add a toothbrush to the shower now because of you, Mark. That's a brilliant idea.
We all know
something
that Mark and I really enjoy baths, and we enjoy showers.
We do. Yep.
Yeah.
So if I can spend more time in the shower and accomplish another task.
We were just trying to have a casual little bath.
No, we don't have a video.
There it is.
But I'm not.
I'll also say this. I'm a guy who runs the water as I brush my teeth. I'm a water waster. So being in the shower, it's the same thing. So I'm actually probably saving water. Anyways, next one. Being a person who has actually does leave Yelp reviews.
I mean, bravo. Thank you to those who do it. I'm not one of them.
I don't know how to answer this one, Mark. I'm gonna say lame, but I have done it maybe a dozen times. Like for those.
Brandon, tell me you got this one. Ain't nobody got time for that. Now, are they positive or negative?
They're positive. I'm only doing it for positive. But like when the service is really, you guys were actually here. Remember when the AC broke in our house, and that company came out and fixed it quickly?
I wasn't there for that. I was the one
I wrote a review
helping you thaw it.
Yeah. I wrote a review that I was appreciative that the fact that it was the owner that called me back, that how quickly they got out here was 100+ degree. I will do it in that scenario. So I'm lame in general, but I have done it for exceptional service.
I just laugh because I feel like, I'm surprised Yelp is still around just because you go on there and sometimes I use it too. And I don't like that I use it like, oh, let's go to this restaurant right here. And the first thing I do is check, make sure it doesn't have like 2 stars. All right, next question.
Right, last one. Let's go.
Whoa, it's not the last one. It's not the last one.
Fuck.
Drinking water that's in a can. Lame or game?
I mean, I'm lame.
I mean,
I've done it a lot.
I should specify, not of the sparkling variety, like just straight up
distilled water out of a can.
Yeah.
I mean, Liquid Death, their one plain version is water in a can.
Man. It's the best water.
Man, I didn't even go to Liquid Death. But that's sparkling.
Hashtag Vince
Would you
Morris.
not consider that sparkling?
No, they have a straight up just
plain one,
flat water. I buy it
and it's fucking delicious, dude.
I go to the store and I grocery shop, but I buy one and be like, on the way home, I'm gonna drink water, and I will only buy that one in a can, and it makes me feel really cool.
A box of water.
Oh, I have those too. Yeah, I don't know.
But Rolling Rock counts.
All right, last one. Waving bye on Zoom.
I do it every time.
I know you do.
Hey, nice meeting you. I did it today after my meeting right before this.
I
usually don't wave though. I put my hand up if I think about it. I'm like,
I mean, I know we still live in a remote Zoom world. I refuse. I will like make sure my hands are down, and I will wait till everyone's gone just to make sure I don't wave.
This could be one of those things like we talked about a week or so ago. Nice, Justin. Where I go, am I wrong? I think that maybe I'm wrong in this. I think that if you actually sent that poll out over everyone, they would tell you like, this thing is lame. I still do it though, Mark.
I don't think it's lame.
I think it's become a natural reaction because
like, hey, I'll see you do it in person. Like, hey, I'll see you later. Why can't you do it on Zoom?
That was a great meeting, guys. I'm game. Back later.
Yeah, it's still bad. But again, Justin, if you were leaving a person an in-person meeting, would you like be like, okay, bye? And then
normally I shake their hand, but I can't shake their fucking hand through the screen.
Pleasure. But I would do both too, by the way. I'd be like, hey, it's been a pleasure. Like if I'm across the table, because they may not want to shake hands. So if I do this and they don't raise their hand or put their hand out to shake,
no,
then move on.
Start doing gang signs.
I don't know. You got me questioning myself.
Oh, shut up, Justin.
We gotta wrap this up.
Justin's got hockey tonight. He said he even wrote in the text he wants time to play Fortnite before he goes.
Of course, pew pew pew. We get on. Anyways, chat bar champion.
Hey, hold on.
God damn it.
You know what they say.
Okay.
Way to finish it, Mark.
I really want to bring I've always loved JD's graphic to Nope or Dope, but we need to bring back Lamer Game. This is just
he has tried. He had to his credit.
So shame on you.
Tried.
Yeah.
No, every time I'm ready to go, and no. So by the way, some of these written down were from months ago, so they're not good. But I gotta keep a few in the chamber.
So he just doesn't get to them like we didn't get to confession.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it as
yeah.
Yeah, you're
right.
there's no
notes. Say it, Chad.
There's no way we're getting through that, Chad.
There's no doubt in my mind. GG gets my vote tonight.
He was solid, but I'm dropping on Webby.
Webby, okay. Fully respect that.
I'm gonna.
Mark, you're the decision maker.
No,
unless Brandon's voting.
Yeah, Brandon gets to choose. I'm gonna embrace nepotism and vote Devin because it was actually kind of funny from time to time.
Devin did
because he was translating for JD.
I know
everything he was saying was all JD comments,
and it was pretty good. He did a good job, and I'm gonna say good job, Devin. But never have a 4-hour meeting with a financial advisor ever again.
Ever again.
Jeez,
what? Did he call all of you guys and tell you that?
I didn't get a call.
You're surprised to hear that?
No, but here's what I'll say about Devin's efforts. I think that Devin, in helping me prepare the stats, realized.
Devin, did you win the plan, bud?
I was stressing, and he's like, I got to be active tonight. I got to help Chad, Mark, and JD. Because Chad's losing his damn mind. Anyways, B, it's your choice. Brandon, you got 3 people to choose from.
Can I just choose JD?
No.
But you can drink for saying JD.
Yeah. You can't.
JD for. Does it count for if it's text messages that he didn't want to put in the chat? So yeah, good one.
Oh, shame on him.
All right.
Is that? Am I included in that, or you just?
I gotta go GG then. If I'm just out of the chat bar, GG.
He was solid.
Mr. Greenfield, you rack up some points tonight. I have to say, with
JD just JD, you don't get to do this shit. This is our show tonight. I'm sorry, you don't get to say who the CBC is. You don't get to say show's over. You left us. We're orphans.
Where is he?
We get to do what we want. Look at Devin, JD Chats. Thanks for joining tonight, everyone. We will see you next time. The CBC is GG. Show's over.
I think he's just making that up.
No, Devin's probably posting.
Yeah.
He's probably texting them.
All right.
Guys, I had fun. It may not have been the best, but I tell you what, I had a really good time.
We have done this twice. Retireholics as a whole used to suck way back in the day too. We haven't hit our stride yet. We will be good.
We just need 150 more shows to make this happen.
Exactly. We're gonna be all right.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, boys. Love all of you. Thank you for showing up.
That makes me hurt a little bit. Every time you do that.
Hey, Brandon, can you take that image and actually put a beard on it so it's more like Chad?
Hey, I will say this: the shows go by a lot quicker when you talk.
I'm thinking of shaving this. That it does, Justin.
Yeah,
I felt bad because let's be honest.
Leave the handlebars.
The confessions that was going to be fun.
Yeah.
The Love is Blind confessions. I think that
I'm sure after
really
after JD watches the tape, he'll be like, we should really do this every third Thursday, and I'll let these guys just run because it was so good. Well, we'll have an opportunity again.
No thanks. I quit.
I feel differently about it, but hey, good vibes only,
Brandon, can you please play us out with some music?
Webby wins Trap Bar Champion for life. Top 10 show ever.
Hey,